Ako ang iyong kasamang kaibigan sa ating kapapagaya. Pagkasaktan tayo, pagkasaktan, 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 pagkasaktan. Ang programa ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Equilibrium Probiotics. Ito ay ang bagong food supplement na gawa sa mga piling gulay at prutas at dumaan sa isang masusing proseso para mapangalagaan ang inyong kalusugan. Ang Equilibrium Probiotics ay dinisenyo para sa kalusugan ng ating iyan, tulungan ang pagkuha ng sapat na nutrisyon, ang tagang pagpapalapas sa asang sistema ng mga masirang stocks ng ating iyan. Ang Equilibrium Probiotics ay may iba't ibang disenyo at sabta base sa inyong pangangailangan. Mula sa boost para sa mga bata, fortitude, boosting grade, miracle fruit, perivicare, at ang pinakabago, liver fruit. Ang Equilibrium Probiotics ay may pagmamalaki ng produktong gawa sa kanya. Ito ay mabibili sa The Sept, Geta Road, San Sebastian, Phase 3, Pinauganan, Tarlac City. At para sa mga malalayong lugar, mabibili ang produkto ng Equilibrium Probiotics sa Lazada. Ito ay eksklusibong gawa ni Ginang Malu Reyes Luray. Ano pang hinihintay nyo, mga kasangga? Hala, bili na. MSB, Kape at Balita sa Umaga. Hatid sa inyo ni Kuya Dog. Magandang umaga po, mga kasangga. It's Tuesday, September 19, 2023. Salamat po sa inyong pag-antabay sa ating regular na programang MSB Kape at Balita sa Umaga. Good morning sa ating unang-unang sumali sa ating live streaming, si Richelle Taya. Good morning! Ang aga mong naka-antabay. Salamat salamat sa patuloy na pagsuporta sa ating programa. At para po sa ating mga TikTok viewers din, maraming salamat po. No? We are also live din po tayo sa TikTok ngayon. No? May mga maaga pong sumasali sa ating TikTok live streaming. Magandang umaga rin po sa kanila. At para po sa ating mga suki, ito po yung ating regular na pagbabalita. No? Sandali lamang po ito, 30 minutes lang po. At matutunghayan ninyo yung mga updates natin dito sa loob at labas ng ating bansa. Pero bago po natin simulan ang ating pagbabalita, sumagi po muna ako sa isang maikling panalangin. Sa ngalan ng Ama at ng Anak, Espiritu Santo. Amen. Mahal naming lumikha, maraming salamat po sa bagong araw na ipinagkaloob ninyo sa amin, sa mapayapang gabing lumipas, at sa patuloy na pagbuhos ng iyong mga biyaya sa amin at sa aming bayan. Naway ipagkaloob mo pa po sa amin ang lakas at tibay ng loob upang mapaglabanan ang kasamaan at manatili po kami sa paggawa ng mabuti sa kapwa at sa pagsunod sa inyong itinurong tamang landas. Lahat po ng gawain namin, naalay namin sa ngalan ng iyong anak na si Jesus, aming Panginoon. Amen. Sa ngalan ng Ama at ng Anak ng Espiritu Santo. Amen. Good morning kay Sister Judith Espiritu. Maraming salamat, sis. Kumusta na dyan sa tao? And here is a summary of our top stories for today, September 19, 2023. Our source is Philippine Star. Fish catch down 70%, destruction of corals blamed. Supreme Court asked to nullify Maharlika. Poll, fewer Pinoys optimistic economy will improve. And for our global update, Taiwan detects 103 Chinese warplanes around island. And for our regional updates, Kape, who allegedly raped trans woman, surrenders. Comelec opens San Juan office. Belmonte wants Quezon City Fire Chief axed. And on to sports, Philippine bets told it's achievable. Good morning po kay Nida is watching. And our headline news for today is brought to us by Equilibrium Probiotics. Please scan the QR code to see its health benefits. And our top stories. Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Nida. Good morning din po and have a nice day din po sa inyo. Fish catch down 70%, destruction of corals blamed. Report by Bella Cariaso to the Philippine Star. Manila, Philippines. Fish catch in the West Philippine Sea has gone down by 70% since 2020, and further decline is expected amid reports of massive poaching of corals by the Chinese. A militant fishers group warned yesterday. Pambansang lakas ng kilusang mamalakaya ng Pilipinas or pamalakaya, National Chairman Fernando Kape raised the warning in a radio interview. In the wake of reports of plunder of corals in Rosul Reef, believed perpetrated by the Chinese, corals are breeding grounds for marine life. Reports from fisherfolk, particularly from Zambales, have indicated 70% decline in fish catch amid the illegal activities of Chinese fishing vessels, Kape said. He noted that the drop began after the standoff in Panatag or Scarborough Shoal in 2012, when Chinese vessels stopped Philippine Navy personnel from apprehending a Chinese fishing boat carrying an illegal cargo of endangered corals, baby sharks, and giant clams. The Chinese have never left since then. Since after the standoff in 2011, Chinese fishing vessels have not left the area. The decline in the fish catch started as the Filipino fishers were no longer free to fish in the West Philippine Sea, Kape added. They cannot enter the West Philippine Sea. They were forced to leave the area, he said. Kape said the untrammeled harvesting of corals by the Chinese would further reduce fish production and exacerbate the situation of Filipino fisher folk. Yan ba yung mga kaibigan na check na China? Kala ko ba kaibigan sila? Ba't ganun ang ginagawa nila, di ba? If there are no corals, there will be no source of food for the fish. This will result in a shortage in the supply of fish in the country as a whole, he warned. He called on President Marcos to order concerned agencies to determine the extent of the damage of coral reefs in the West Philippine Sea, as well as demand due compensation from China. We need to determine the extent of the damage so that we will be able to rehabilitate the affected areas and demand China to pay for the damage of the coral reefs, he said. Vice Admiral Alberto Carlos, commander of the Armed Forces of the Philippines Western Command, revealed on Saturday the plunder of corals in Rosul Reef that he said may have been perpetrated by the Chinese. The poaching of corals in Rosul Reef left a wide swath of the seafloor strewn with debris, Carlos said in a briefing. He said the Chinese may have started harvesting the corals in July when their boats swarmed the land feature. Survey. West Philippine Sea Philippine Coast Guard spokesman Commodore J. Tariela said they would be conducting another underwater survey within the week to further assess the conditions of corals in Rosul Reef and Escoda Shoal with the help of marine scientists from the University of the Philippines Marine Science Institute. We will do another underwater survey this week with our vessels and probably reach out to the UP MSI to help in figuring out what is the main reason why these corals were dumped in a particular area. We will also investigate why all of a sudden there is no more life form in the seabed of these two shoals, Taliela said. Kung di na lang nila pakikinabangan, sisirain na lang nila, di ba? Yun ang nakakatakot doon eh. Wala na lang makinabang. He added that the National Task Force for the West Philippine Sea has yet to decide if they would also seek help from marine scientists from other countries. As far as the PCG is concerned, based on the video that we released, there is deliberate dumping of crushed and processed corals. Until now, it is puzzling. What is the motivation of whoever dumped those crushed corals? Tariela added. The PCG has yet to identify the culprit behind the destruction of the corals, but stressed that circumstantial evidence points to the Chinese. The continued swarming for indiscriminate, illegal, and destructive fishing activities of the Chinese Maritime Militia, or CMM, in Rosul Reef and Escoda Shoal may have directly caused the degradation and destruction of the marine environment in the West Philippine Sea features, the PCG said. From August 9 to September 11, the PCG monitored an average of 33 CMM vessels in the vicinity of Rosul Reef and 15 CMM vessels in Escoda Reef. The BRP Sindangan and the BRP Cabra were patrolling the area. During the period, PCG conducted underwater surveys of the seabed in the two areas. The results of these surveys show that the maritime ecosystem in the subject West Philippine Sea features appeared lifeless, with minimal to no signs of life. Moreover, the surveys conducted in Escoda Shoal revealed visible discoloration of its seabed, strongly indicating that deliberate activities may have been undertaken to modify the natural topography of its underwater terrain, he said. The presence of crushed corals strongly suggests a potential act of dumping, possibly involving the same dead corals that were previously processed and cleaned before being returned to the seabed, the Coast Guard official added. New reclamation, naku po, ito po yung nakakatakot dito. Magdadagdag po siya kasi ng base militar sa ating karagatan. On concerns raised by Senator Francis Tolentino that the harvesting of corals could be a prelude to reclamation, Tariela said that is something that we still do not know. We still do not know. That is the reason why we want to reach out to marine scientists to at least understand the motivation for the dumping. Tolentino chairs the Senate Special Committee on Maritime and Admiralty Zones. Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri described China's actions in the West Philippine Sea as annoying. Annoying lang ba? Yun lang naman annoying yun, di ba? You know, it takes about 100 years to be able to have a very healthy ecosystem and coral reef, and that is the fishing, Zubiri added. That's the breeding ground
for more than seagoing fish. So all the oceanic fish are born there and come out and become big tuna and big fish. This is a wanton destruction of our future food security areas. And why do they need to destroy it? Why do they need to take these coral reefs? Is it because they use it for decorative value in China or make it into jewelry because of the red corals? Those that are very rare and protected, he pointed out. Senator Jingoy Estrada also condemned the degradation of the reefs. We strongly condemn the destruction activities at Rizal Reef and Escoda Shoal, reports of deliberate man-made alteration to the natural topography of its underwater terrain, allegedly carried out by the Chinese maritime militia in these areas, are a matter of grave concern. We call upon the responsible authorities to also raise awareness and consciousness on the maritime and archipelagic issues and concerns and uphold our national sovereignty and territorial integrity, he said. Japan expresses alarm. Japan's top diplomat has branded as alarming reports of China's plunder of corals in Rizal Reef near Palawan. Very alarming news. Our oceans are the lifeblood of our planet, and coral reefs are its colorful heartbeats. Let's preserve and protect these vital ecosystems for generations to come, Japanese Ambassador Kazuhiko Koshikawa said in a post on social media platform X, formerly Twitter. But in its own post on X, the Chinese embassy dismissed the report as disinformation and raised anew Japan's release of treated radioactive wastewater from the Fukushima nuclear plant. Yung gano'n, diyan kayo magaling eh. No? Pagka may sinabing laban sa inyo, maghahanap din kayo ng punas sa kabila. Mga irresponsible. People should be alarmed by the spreading of such disinformation. Oceans are indeed the lifeblood of our planet. So stop the release of contaminated nuclear water from Fukushima, the Chinese embassy said. Tigilan niyo muna ginagawa niyo palakuhan. Mga ewan ko. Oshikawa earlier said it was unforgivable to take advantage of harmful rumors and malicious fake news about the discharge of treated radioactive wastewater from the Fukushima nuclear plant. He said Japan is striving to recover from the Fukushima disaster while maintaining a high level of transparency based on scientific evidence. Kayo, mga naninira lang, di ba? Mga CNN kayo, mga Chinese maritime militia. With additional reports from Evelyn Macayrat, Cecil Suerte Felipe, and PLE Brago. Good morning po sa mga nag-join sa atin. Kay Engineer Alfred Capullo is watching. Kay Shandy Suleiman is watching. Good morning, Shandy. Si Brother Edwin Purpose is also watching. Good morning, Chief. At si Tres Odi Ramos. Good morning, Brad. Good morning, Bala. Balay. Moving on to our next top story. Supreme Court asked to nullify Maharlika, reported by Millicent Bautista to the Philippine Star. Manila, Philippines. Lawmakers yesterday filed a petition before the Supreme Court asking that the Maharlika Investment Fund Act of 2023 be declared unconstitutional and void, as they argued that the passage of the law bypassed the constitutionality mandated legislative process. Senate Minority Leader Aquilino Pimentel III, Bayan Muna Chairman Nery Colmenares, and former Bayan Muna Representatives Carlos Zarate and Ferdinand Gaite filed the petition. Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, Finance Secretary Benjamin Jokno, and House of Representatives and Senate were listed as respondents. The passage and contents of the law violated three sections of the 1987 Constitution, according to the petitioners. In the 55-page document, the group alleged that the passage of Republic Act 11954 was not duly enacted in accordance with Article 6, Section 26, 2 of the 1987 Constitution, which provides that no bill passed by either chamber of Congress shall become a law unless it has passed three readings on separate days, except when the President certifies to the necessity of its immediate enactment to meet a public calamity or emergency. The petitioners argued that the constitutionally mandated legislative process was short-circuited through the unnecessary and constitutionally infirm presidential certification of urgency. The presidential certification allowed the House to pass Bill 6608 on second and third reading on December 15 last year. The petitioners, however, pointed out that even after the rush to pass the then Maharlika bill last May 31 in both houses of Congress, it was only on July 4 that they enrolled the bill to the President. This belied the urgency of the immediate enactment of the law as claimed in the presidential certification of urgency. They also noted that some members of Congress tried to amend the bill already approved and adopted by the Senate and by the House last May 31. They said this was a constitutionally fatal act in the passage of the law. The petitioners likewise alleged that the establishment of the MIF as a government-owned and controlled corporation failed to satisfy the test of economic viability as mandated under Article 12, Section 16 of the 1987 Constitution. This provision states that the common good and economic viability requirements must be met before Congress can form GOCCs. During the passage, a three-page business proposal for the MIF was submitted showing promising estimated returns for the next 10 years. The petitioners, however, argued that the business proposal does not satisfy as proof of economic viability. With the simple submission of a three-page business proposal without the basis of computation of the return on equity, the requirement of economic viability will be easily circumvented, the petition stated. The petitioners also alleged that RA 11954 violated the independence of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas as provided under Article 12, Section 20 of the Constitution. The section also provides that the BSP serves as an independent central monetary authority. Under the MIF, however, the BSP is ordered to contribute 100% of its dividends to the Maharlika Investment Corp. The Monetary Board, therefore, despite its power to determine its policies, is now subjected by the law to the discretion of the President, the petition said. By virtue of RA 11954, the dividends that should have been used to recapitalize Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas will now be used as part of the capital of the Maharlika Investment Corp. It added. The MIF was signed into law last July 18, being the first ever sovereign wealth fund of the country. Diyan na po tayo malulugi. Minority backs petition. House minority members yesterday backed Bayan Muna's move to question the MIF's constitutionality and validity before the Supreme Court. The challenged Maharlika law lacks fiscal and economic wisdom and is ill-timed because of the negative economic indicators besetting the country today, according to Albay First District Rep. Ed Salagman. While I am consistently opposed to the establishment of the Maharlika Investment Fund, and I share the sentiments of those who petitioned the Supreme Court to declare the Maharlika Investment Act unconstitutional, I already previously said that there appears to be no constitutional provision violated in the process of enacting the Maharlika Investment Act, Lagman said. Gabriela Women's Party List Rep. Arlene Rosas also supported the petition, noting that the grounds cited in the petition raised significant questions about the legality and legitimacy of the law. Brosas was referring to the violation of Article 6, Section 26 of the 1987 Constitution, and the failure to comply with the test of economic viability mandated under Article 12, Section 16 of the Constitution. The presidential certification of the Maharlika Bill should comply with the requirement that its immediate enactment is to meet a public calamity or emergency. Additionally, the economic viability of the investment should have been thoroughly assessed before its creation, he said. The lawmaker maintained that the BSP's independence was violated as the agency is one of the funding sources of the MIF. She said the arguments presented in the petition warrant serious consideration as she expressed hope that the High Tribunal will thoroughly review the MIF's constitutionality. For ACT Teachers Party List Rep. Franz Castro, the filing of the petition is a good development considering that the MIF law is farthest from what our people need. It will not lower the prices of goods, it will not increase the wages of workers, and it will not provide free land to farmers, Castro said. Most likely, it will only deplete funds that should be better spent in uplifting the lives of the poor, like for ayuda or aid and pabahay housing, she added. Albay 2nd District Rep. Joey Salceda said it is the right of those questioning the MIF's constitutionality to take any legal recourse. But I argue that the MIF Act is akin to the creation of any other government financial institution or government corporation. The Supreme Court tends to give congressional action on such matters wide latitude and tolerance, Salceda added. Measures were taken, particularly by the House, to make sure that safeguards are in place and constitutional requirements met, according to Bicolano lawmaker. With additional reports from Sheila Crisostomo. Good morning po kay PWD President Ramon Berenguer. Thanks for joining at si kay RV. Thank you, RV. Poll. Fewer Pinoy's optimistic economy will improve. Report by John Dick Mateo to the Philippine Star. Manila, Philippines. Less than a majority of Filipinos now think that the Philippine economy will improve within the year. A survey conducted by Okta Research showed. Results of the July 22 to 26 survey released yesterday found that 46% of the respondents believe that the economy would be better in 6 months. Some 43% said it would remain the same, while 6% said it would worsen. Another 6% said they do not know. Compared to a similar survey conducted in March, optimism in the Philippine economy dropped by 4 points from 50%. Pessimism stayed at 6%. On October 2022, those who believed that the economy would improve was also at 46%, while those said it would worsen was at 10%. Based on the latest survey, optimism with the economy was highest among those who live in balanced Luzon at 54% from 47%, followed by those in Metro Manila at 44% from 46%, Mindanao at 42% from 43%, and the Visayas at 31% from 69%. Bumagsak ng todo. Pessimism on the economy was highest among those in the Visayas at 11% from 3%, followed by those in Metro Manila at 9% from 7%, Mindanao at 8% from 11%, and rest of Luzon at 2% from 5%. Quality of life. The same survey also found 55% of respondents think that their quality of life will improve in the next 6 months, almost similar to 54% obtained in a similar survey in March. Those who said that it will worsen stayed at 4%, while another 36% said it will be the same as now. Across geographic areas, optimism regarding their quality of life was highest among those in balanced Luzon and Mindanao at 58%, from 53% and 46%, respectively, followed by those in Metro Manila at 57% from 52%, and Visayas at 46% from 66%. Pessimism was highest among those in the Visayas with 8% from 4%, followed by those in Mindanao at 6% from 7%. Balanced Luzon at 2%, same as in March. Metro Manila at 1% from 5%. The survey had 1,200 adult respondents and a margin of error of plus or minus 3% for national percentages. Good morning po, Brother Edwin. Si Chip, ang aga. Moving on to our global top story. Taiwan detects 103 Chinese warplanes around the island. A report from Agence France Press to the Philippine Star. Taipei, Taiwan. Taiwan told China on Monday to stop its destructive unilateral actions after more than 100 Chinese warplanes and 9 Navy ships were detected in areas around the self-ruled island. Beijing claims Taiwan as its own territory to be seized one day and has ramped up diplomatic and military pressure on Taipei in recent years. In the 24 hours between the morning of September 17 and 18, the Defense Ministry said it had detected a total of 103 Chinese warplanes, and it described the number as a recent high. In a statement, it said the sorties pose severe challenges to the security across Taiwan Strait and the region. Beijing's continued military harassment can easily lead to a sharp escalation in tension and worsen regional security, the ministry said, as it called on China to immediately stop such destructive unilateral actions. Of the total number of warplanes detected, 40 crossed the so-called median line of the Taiwan Strait that separates the island from China and entered its southwest and southeast air defense identification zone, or ADIZ, the statement said. China's foreign ministry did not comment on the sorties, though its spokeswoman, Mao Ning, reaffirmed Beijing's position that Taiwan belongs to China. What I would like to tell you is that Taiwan is part of Chinese territory and so-called median line does not exist, she said. High alert. Monday's announcement by Taipei came after an uptick in the number of incursions by Chinese warplanes and ships last week. Beijing said last week its troops were on high alert after two ships belonging to the United States and Canada sailed through the Taiwan Strait. Taiwan's defense ministry said 68 Chinese aircraft and 10 naval vessels were detected around the island Wednesday morning and Thursday morning. Some of those planes and warships were heading to an unspecified area of the Western Pacific to conduct joint sea and air training with China's Shandong aircraft carrier, the ministry said. The Shandong, one of two operational aircraft carriers in the Chinese fleet, was detected last week 16 nautical miles or 110 kilometers southeast of Taiwan, heading into the Western Pacific, Taipei authorities said. Japan's defense ministry also said last week, excuse me, said last week its navy had detected six ships, including frigates, destroyers, one fast combat support ship, and the Shandong, sailing through waters some 650 kilometers or 400 miles south of Miyakojima Island, east of Taiwan. It confirmed that jets and helicopters had been detected taking off and landing from the Shandong, though China has not confirmed officially on any drills being conducted in the Western Pacific, sacred part of China. Analysts said China would be flexing its muscles to counter U.S. influence in the Asia Pacific as it leads multiple rounds of military drills with allies across the region. China aims to counter the military containment of democratic allies led by the United States. Su Chuziong, an analyst at Taiwan's Institute of National Defense and Security Research, told the AFP. Following last August's visit to Taipei by Nancy Pelosi, then Speaker of the House of Representatives, China staged its largest ever war games around Taiwan. Then in April this year, Beijing conducted a three-day joint sword military exercise to simulate the encirclement of the island after Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen met U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy in California. In a comment on the Weibo social media platform, China's Global Times State tabloid said Taiwan was a sacred and inalienable part of China. The People's Liberation Army relevant combat training activities are necessary actions to safeguard national sovereignty and territorial integrity, it added, referring to China's military. Okay, salamat Brother Ramon sa iyong pagbati. Moving on to our regional updates. Kape, who allegedly raped trans woman, surrenders, report by Mark Ernest Villesa to the Philippine Star. Manila, Philippines. A taxi driver accused of raping a transgender woman in 2022 turned himself to the National Bureau of Investigation yesterday. The Kape, known only as alias Bernie, denied the rape allegation, saying the sexual act between him and the victim was consensual. Bernie said he was pulled over by the victim in June last year to transport her to Caloocan City. The suspect said he and the victim agreed to a sexual encounter and that the taxi driver would be paid. Bernie said he was unable to talk to the victim before leaving as she was asleep. He said he took the victim's money as payment for his sexual services. According to earlier reports, the victim said she passed out after instructing the driver to transport her to Caloocan due to drunkenness. The victim said instead of taking her to her destination, the suspect brought her to a motel. When the victim woke up, she said she was naked and her money was missing. Moving on to our regional story, Comelec opens San Juan office. Comelec opens San Juan office. Report by Jose Rodel Clapano to the Philippine Star. Good morning, Brother Eric. Thanks for joining. Manila, Philippines. The Commission on Elections inaugurated yesterday the new Comelec Regional Office in Green Hills, San Juan. Comelec Chairman George Garcia, San Juan Mayor Francis Zamora, and other officials led the inauguration. All commissioners, Comelec National Capital Region Director Jobil Sormieda, and other officers from Metro Manila were also present during the event. The Comelec office is on the third floor of the four-story building situated in a 3,000 square meter property in Green Hills. It also houses other government agencies such as the San Juan Fire Department and Green Hills Barangay Hall. Yes, bro. Mag-imbita tayo mamaya para sa Nobina. And completing our regional stories, Belmonte wants Quezon City Fire Chief Acts. Report by Jan Vic Mateo to the Philippine Star. Manila, Philippines. Quezon City Mayor Joy Belmonte has called for the relief of the local fire chief and another official following the blaze that killed 15 people in Barangay Tandangsora last month. In a statement yesterday, Belmonte also urged the Bureau of Fire Protection to conduct a thorough investigation of the incident and undertake reforms at the Quezon City Fire District, or QCFD. She sought the relief of QCFD Marshal Senior Superintendent Aristotel Banyaga and Chief Inspector Dominic Salvacion, who heads the QCFD branch undertaking fire inspections in the city. Belmonte made the call following the results of the probe conducted by the local government and city council, which found lapses on the part of the QCFD, including lax inspection and backlog in the inspection of businesses. The BFP should look into how the QCFD fulfilled its mandate amid the tragic loss of lives and properties due to recent fires in the city, where the QCFD leadership remiss in their duties. They should hold their personnel accountable if proven guilty of inefficiency, she said. Citing data from the BFP, the local government said 153 fires were recorded in Quezon City from January to August compared to 219 for the entire 2022. At least 8 firefighters and 63 civilians have been injured in the this year in the city this year. In 2022, 2 firefighters and 60 civilians were injured in fires. There were 24 fatalities from fires in the first 8 months of 2023 compared to 30 last year. The number of affected families, or 2,380 so far this year, is higher in the entire 2022, which is 2005. To protect the people of Quezon City, I am calling on the national leadership of the BFP to assign a new fire marshal for the QCFD and a new inspection head, Belmonte said. She also asked the BFP to be more transparent in its investigation of the Tandansora fire. The BFP has failed to reciprocate the city government's efforts to exercise transparency. They resisted our calls to be apprised of the progress of their own probe or to our request for coordination, Belmonte said. We are asking the BFP to cooperate fully with the city government as mandated by law to ensure full transparency in these investigations. Our people demand more, and the victims and their families deserve nothing less, she added. Belmonte had ordered the creation of a special panel to look into the incident and file charges against those who should be held accountable. She vowed that even local government personnel will be charged if they are found liable for the tragic fire. And finally, moving on to sports. Philippine bet sold. It's achievable. Report by Joey Villar to the Philippine Star. Manila, Philippines. There are a million more reasons Filipino athletes should strive harder to win the gold in the Hangzhou Asian Games that unfurls on Saturday. With an eye on surpassing the 4 gold, 2 silver, and 15 bronze harvests in the 2018 edition in Palembang, Indonesia, the Philippine Olympic Committee added a 1 million peso cash bonus for the Philippine bets who will strike gold in China. It will be a big challenge, but I believe it's achievable, said POC President Abraham Tolentino during yesterday's send-off of the 395-strong national team, as well as the Asian Para Games bound squad at the PICC in Pasay City. The bonus sweetens the pot for Filipino athletes who, under the law, stand to receive 2 million pesos for each gold, 1 million pesos for silver, and 400,000 for bronze in the Asia. Senator Bongo, who chairs the Upper Chambers Committee on Sports, wished the Filipino athletes the best of luck. This is a testament to your dedication and commitment towards greatness, said Go. Tolentino named world number 2 pole vaulter E.J. Obiena and 2018 Asian Games skateboard gold winner Marceline Vidal as the country's flag bearers in Hangzhou. Philippine Sports Commission Chairman Richard Bachman and Philippine Paralympic Olympic Committee President Mike Barredo also graced the send-off. The Asian Games is slated September 23 to October 8, while the Asian Para Games is scheduled October 22 to 28. Although the country will vie without world champion gymnast Carlos Yulo, who was who has skipped the Hangzhou for the World Championships in Antwerp, Belgium late this month, there were there are those who to count on. Apart from Obiena and Vidal, The squad will also have Olympic gold winner Heidi Diaz, Tokyo boxing medalist Nestle Petesio, Carlo Paslam, Tata Carlo Paalam, and Yumir Marshall, the star-studded Gilas Pilipinas and the World Cup heroes in the Filipinas. And that completes our top stories for today. Good morning, Chen Jiaming. Thanks for joining, Chen. And here again is a summary of our top stories for today, September 19, 2023.